Hey, it's Dr. Phil here, and I'm talking to you about a story that is in the news, and I'm really curious how you feel about this and how you're going to interpret it. I'm really wondering if you think this is something that the left has brought about, and if you do, if you think they have won, or if you think you have lost. If you think the U.S. has lost. What I'm talking about is Elon Musk will step down in his role as the head of DOGE. Now, DOGE is the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, if you look at the polls, 51% of the people say that they don't like Elon Musk in that role. 37% of the people say, yeah, I think it's a good thing. Now, the purpose of this Department of Government Efficiency has been to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Everybody agrees that that's a good thing, but a lot of people didn't agree with the way Elon Musk was doing it. They said it's just kind of slash and burn, taking a chainsaw to a lot of agencies and this sort of thing. This wasn't right. They didn't like that. Jobs were being cut. It created a problem. I don't know. It seems to me that we had a very intelligent guy bringing his expertise in business to the government to try to get rid of a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. And so what happened is he started getting targeted. They started targeting, they thought, his businesses. They started attacking Teslas. And maybe people are celebrating on the left, people that were vandalizing property, people that were destroying Tesla automobiles, attacking dealerships, gunfire, fire bombings. There were 500 plus organized Tesla takedowns. I read an article about that today by Chris Rufo. He talked about this process called power mapping, something that the left does and has done for a long time, where they look at the other side, the enemy, as they call them, and say, all right, we're going to map this out. We're going to diagram the power structure on the other side of this issue, and we're going to find what are called choke points. And they're going to pound away at those choke points and see if they can find a way to stop what's going on that they don't like. Now, these are the people that are supposedly all-inclusive and like to have a dialogue and all of that.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Elon Musk has got to go.
My problem with this is these are individuals that bought cars. They don't know Elon Musk. They didn't have anything to do with him. These dealerships are owned by individuals that live in communities, and this is their family business. This is how they feed their children. This is their business, just like you may have a job or a small business. They didn't get into that business because Musk was head of DOGE. They didn't get a vote on what he does or doesn't do. They just decided that this was a dealership that they wanted to invest in. Why? Maybe because they shared a value about climate control. Maybe because they thought, hey, this is a good thing. Maybe this is good for the climate. Maybe they embrace the same values of the people that are now out in their parking lots burning their inventory and tearing up the livelihood that they have put all the money they have into to take care of their family. This is just insane to me. This is crazy to me. You know, Musk has a lot of better things that he can do than put up with all of this. And what has he got to do? Well, like maybe making the world better. Rufo points out he has been a leader in the automobile industry, the space industry, robotics, AI. Is this a classic case of biting the hand that feeds you?
Charlie. Charlie bit me.
Someone that is the richest person on the face of the earth. And how did he get that way? Was he lucky? No. He got that way because he's contributing things to society that obviously we all want, that we all value, or we wouldn't be paying money for it. We wouldn't be willing to reward him for what he's offering. So what would the world be like if Elon Musk didn't do what he's doing? Well, SpaceX, one of his companies. Well, he reinvented space travel. He created reusable rockets. Falcon 9 can land and be reused multiple times, drastically lowering launch cost. SpaceX was the first private company to successfully launch a spacecraft into orbit
And liftoff.
and return it to Earth safely. In 2012, SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft became the first commercial spacecraft to deliver cargo to and from the International Space Station. You think we needed that? Yeah, it sustained the space station. That has to do with a whole lot of things in America's best interest. We just had 2 astronauts which wound up there for 8 months. Who brought them home? Elon Musk company brought them home. He brought Sonny home and Butch home.
That was pretty special.
Starlink, satellite communication, portable, power it up, point it towards the sky, and you all of a sudden have high-speed internet access to people worldwide, particularly in remote areas. I was just in western North Carolina working on hurricane relief out there, going into communities that you can only get to by helicopter because you couldn't get there by road or rail because they were wiped out by the hurricane. And when we went into those areas, we went in with Starlink. Is this army of helicopters getting ready to take off and go into some really hard-hit remote areas where Starlink units have been dropped in, but they need to be activated. So technicians are going to have to go in and activate these things because these communities are completely cut off. I asked if we could get 500 of them from Starlink. Elon approved it, said, sure, here's 500 of them. Actually, I asked for 200 or 300 and got 500. There were people in there that had no contact with their families. They couldn't ask for medical help. Some of them were pregnant and needed immediate help. Landed, got generators and plugged them into this, and people could reach out to the world and to their families just like that. Yeah, we don't want that guy around. He's not good. Optimus, robotic assistants designed to perform tasks that are dangerous, repetitive, or boring for humans. And then Tesla, that have been set on fire, vandalized, scratched, exploded, transforming the EV industry. Energy storage solutions like the Powerwall and solar panels for the sustainable energy future. He owns Solar City, the leading provider for solar power systems in the United States, co-founded OpenAI, changing the world as we speak. He founded Neuralink, a neurotechnology company to develop brain-computer interfaces for medical applications. I recently interviewed Nolan Arbaugh, the first recipient of Neuralink, a quadriplegic from the neck down, who all he could do is hold something in his mouth and blow into it to move his chair. He gets this Neuralink, and all of a sudden, he can now manipulate his computer. He can communicate with people on the internet. He can play video games. He can interface with websites to continue his education. It was like he had a whole new life put in front of him because his brain can control the computer.
I'll take it.
I want to pay with you everywhere.
Elon Musk co-founded PayPal, a pioneer in online payment systems. You use it, right? You use it. So what is it? Is it that the radical left is anti-wealth, anti-progress? I don't know. They seem to have an awful lot of hate against Jeff Bezos, who's got $206 billion. Amazon, largest e-commerce company globally. Blue Origin, an aerospace company developing reusable launch vehicles and space travel technology to establish a human presence beyond Earth. He set up the $10 billion Bezos Earth Fund with the goal of addressing climate change. He's granted $2 billion so far. Day One Families Fund, he's donated $110.5 million to help families escape homelessness. It seems like they're fine taking money from George Soros, J.B. Pritzker, Reid Hoffman, and other billionaires. These are not just people. These are people that are outspoken in condemning Israel, even though Israel gave the world flash drives, Intel computer chips, instant messaging, and the cell phone. Breakthroughs in technology, recycling, conservation, management, and irrigation, stem cell research, bone marrow transplants. It's like you get a cause celebrate and let's pretend none of this other stuff ever even happened. I just don't get it. And we've seen this cycle. We saw it in the 70s with civil rights. Bombing of the U.S. Capitol, assassination of cops. Now Black Lives Matter's collapsing. It seems like there's this idea of anti-wealth. And certainly these people have a lot more money than I'll ever have, probably more money than you'll ever have. But what are we doing here? If you don't like what Elon Musk was doing with DOGE, write your congressman, write your representative, write Elon Musk. Do whatever you have to do. But going out and vandalizing Teslas and Tesla dealerships, you're hurting your neighbor who has a business. You're hurting people who bought a car and are having to make payments on it. Now it's damaged. And somehow or another, that's a victory? I don't get it. And all because somebody is intentionally attacking waste, fraud, and abuse. And I've said from day one, minute one, it's not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. And when they do, they need to be willing to step up, admit it, and correct it immediately. I don't know, maybe he got tired of listening to it. Maybe there are other reasons for it. But this just isn't smart. And if this is a small group of people running this agenda, it certainly hasn't been in the best interest of everybody. And I certainly hope that it doesn't stop DOGE. I certainly hope it doesn't stop the effort to streamline the government and get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, because it's costing every one of us money. It's causing the deficit to go up. It's costing every one of you that has savings, worked all of your life to have retirement. It's costing those dollars to shrink. Maybe Elon Musk just said, you know what, the hell with it. I'll just go back to making more billions of dollars and let people resent me for being successful. I, for one, appreciate what he's contributed to society. I don't know him well. I have had the privilege of meeting him. I observe him as being a loving father. I found him to be a very reasonable and decent individual when I met him. He certainly has contributed to society globally and in America. But people sure been hating on him. Did he do everything the best way possible? I don't know. We haven't had long enough to see it all play out. But I think they were being transparent, and I think corrections could be made when errors were made. But if you endorse the way he's been abused and his property and companies have been vandalized, I disagree with you. I think it has been a big mistake, and I'm sorry to see him go. From where I sit, that's the real story. Wherever you're getting the real story, make sure you subscribe and follow. I'll see you tomorrow. Tax day has passed, but for many Americans, the trouble's just beginning. If you missed the April 15th deadline or still owe back taxes, listen up. The IRS is filing over 5,000 new tax liens daily. And with tools like property seizures, bank levies, and wage garnishments, they're applying pressure at levels we haven't seen in years. But Tax Network USA has you covered. You can still regain control. Your consultation is free. Acting now could stop penalties, threatening letters, and surprise levies from escalating. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Dr. Phil. That's DRPHIL. The deadline has passed, so let Tax Network USA help before the IRS makes the next move. That's 800-958-1000 or tnusa.com/Dr. Phil.